the fact that right now, everything in you, if you are an organic being, is being turned on. And not turned on, sexy, sexy time, turned on. I'm talking about your codons that were normally locked down, are now opening up and expressing themselves. When you can watch a whole live with, big up to Rod Hayes, y'all. Listen, a brother Rich had him on. I think one of the C-stars, big up to the C-star on my Telegram that shared it. Whenever you have that kind of information, remember, Rod Hayes has been banned from all channels making his own channel. He has to go on other people's channel. That kind of intel, that kind of information, that man, that being, because he's a being, to unleash the information with such effortlessness, such purity, such, like, not matter of fact, that is another layer of awareness and awakening that is beyond this realm. That means we've reached a precipice that is really, really over the top. Like we're over the firmament at that point. When you start to get intellis coming on, and again, this is not something that the Matrix lets him come on, and that's how I know he's real. The Matrix, the simulation, will come against anyone because it's part of the ley line, it's part of the fabric of this simulation. It's part of the fabric of the simulation. The simulation will attack anything that is going against its agenda. And it's part of the game too. So is it really an attack or is it a challenge? So instead of saying it's an attack, it's a challenge. They aren't going to let organic beings play here. That's why I think that the Agent Smiths online, like JWTV, the other guy, which is like a black and white Fleur, it's the duality playing out. Like the JWTV, what's the other guy? His name is, oh, I forgot what he is. He's always like, this is breaking news. He's the lunar version of it, and JW is the black version of it. It's the checkerboard effect. So they got Agent Smiths coming in with a black and white. So you'll always see like checkerboard right now because they want to capture the attention with duality. So they're going to capture the attention to one demographics and they'll catch it on the other side. So they'll have these layered, they'll have these polarities playing out within these Agent Smiths. Now, whether he's real or not, I can't say. I don't know the man. But I will say he is serving the agenda of the YouTube platform. Why? Is because he's allowed to give information that seemingly is all intel, talking about the things going on within the within this within the trials and tribulations occurring right before reset, but he isn't being attacked. So it makes me think that he's probably artificial intelligence. He may be a geoengineered background person, maybe NPC himself, playing out this narrative, generating the agenda, so he's part of the system, or he's part of the military aspect. Could be a real person, but is being allowed to sit there because he's part of the group of Agent Smiths that are supposed to play that part at this time to keep the attention, keep the alert, and keep people in a constant state of fear and fret, so that they aren't able to see when the door opens, or to access and ask and understand that they are the progenitors, and they progenerate this reality. Okay, so that being said, the Olympians are here. The Americas is where the Olympians are bred and born. That's why I told you I only give birth to children from a specific place, and I have to go there, and that soul is imprinted in my womb, so that a certain child is born out of me. It is the same for the gladiators, the Olympians. And the Olympians are those beings. That's why you get movies like Supercell. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see Supercell. When these people just wake up to their abilities, that is them taking on your narrative. They're talking about you, y'all. They're talking about you. They're talking about you, and they want to make it seem artificial, phantasmic, put it on a movie so you think it's just a movie. So when you start having these abilities showing up, like you're running and you're like, how did I get here? Or you're projecting yourself in the sky, or people are seeing you elsewhere and you're not there. How did you do that? And then you'll think to yourself, oh, that's not me. I just saw a movie where they did that. No, because they're taking on the qualities of who you are, and they're going to put it on a movie so you think it's artificial. You'll think it's fake. You think that you're imagining it because you just saw a Supercell. And if you notice, why are they making it with a whole bunch of brown people now? Is this the group of people that they're really saying that calling the attention to them because those are the group of people that might show this in mass? Is this a group of people that are going to have these dispositions show up within them? So they're trying to grab the attention to those melanated people on these shows to make them think that they're going crazy, or that this is just their imagination, that they start to be able to do all these have all this hyperkinetic abilities that they didn't have before. The Olympians come from the Americas, and they come from here. They are now being initiated into higher forms. And like I said, I don't want to even go into what's happened to me over the last, oh gosh, well, it's happened to me for the longest time. But even with the Orishas, like I've had some things happen, y'all, that even with my layer of awareness and contact is beyond my belief. Things that are contacting me now that I really thought were fake. And they're so real and tangible that it literally humbles me to the experience. You are the Olympians. The Olympians are from the Americas. The Americas is the only place where those type of beings can be geoengineered. Those beings are born into this space because it has so much technology, because it is Africa. Ancient Egypt is here. The technology that's geoengineered is in the Americas. That's why those type of beings can only be born into the game in here. Those are the Olympians, and you are now being activated. That's why they're trying so hard to stop the activation, trying so hard to change what was normally natural radiation, gamma radiation. They're trying to change and transfer the radiation to something that's diabolical, and that is to neutralize these abilities from coming online. That's why during that whole fake eclipse, where they literally put something over the other sun that they had. Now, remember, these are some simulators. These aren't real, but normally those other suns emit a certain kind of radiation. Now, mind you, there's two sets of things that you need to understand and understand. There is a game and there is a set. This is a set we're living in. The set has specific timers to go off at specific times before reset. Before reset, the super beings come online. The other beings who are the haters, the longtime loopers, the satanic losers that haven't been able to leave here, they figured it out during all of these lifetimes where they keep going through the loop. They've had the advantage, so they know when these things in the technology are going to turn on that are part of the simulation. They try to convert it or co-opt it by doing certain things. That whole fake eclipse was them co-opting energies that were supposed to come in to activate the Olympians to turn on. The only way, listen, the video game isn't going to ever give you anything that you aren't able to handle, especially when you're a playable character. If you're coming in this simulation, you have earned the privilege to come here, regardless if you're here for spiritual elevation. Maybe you're doing time because you needed this kind of awareness. Maybe you had to have things bounce against you like a mirror so you would grow and evolve, regardless of why you're here. The fact of the matter is, there are certain things in here that turn on when you get to a certain point in frequency and awareness that need to be activated so that you can start to have the ability to work with the new energies and overcome the challenges that will going to test you during your finals before you leave here, before you can leave here. Okay? The only way that you're waking up out of this simulation is a short, narrow window we have to open and jump through that door and wake up out of the simulation. It is a very small window, and they know this. The psychopathic, satanic maniacs, they're maniacs because they've been here. I don't know if you ever watched Groundhog Day. Did you ever watch Groundhog Day? At the beginning of Groundhog Day, the guy figures he doesn't understand what's going on. He's waking up to the same loop every day, and he doesn't realize it initially. And then he starts having a group of synchronicities happen. He starts to have things that start to become repetitious, and then he starts to notice, oh my God, let me test and see if this is a loop. And then when he figures out it's a loop, what does he do? He starts doing crazy things. He knows that it's going to be a reoccurrence every day, so he starts doing different things, starting to play with the loop. These maniacs know this, y'all. That's why they're able, it's no such thing as predictive programming. It is a program, so it's always going to be predictive because it is a program. If someone knows the program, then it's easy for them to co-opt it because they know what's coming. They know that during this time, the Olympians wake up to who they are. They know that in order for you to leave, you have to elevate to a certain point where you can master yourself, gain all your awareness, and be able to pass your final exams to leave. I don't care if you're a volunteer or not. If you're going to leave here, you too have to go through the gladiator games. You have to pass that finale in order to go through that little slither, that door that wakes us up to where we truly exist. Now, my awareness is that we're sleeping on a cryo state in a room. We're sleeping in this machine, and we're projecting ourselves in this avatar, in this reality. And also, you know, there's a reason why they keep attacking specific bloodlines, because if you are going to leave, now mind you, not everybody leaves during this time. There are beings here that are new. They're new jailmates. They just got in this joint. Some of them are doing 10 to 20, some are doing 30, and some may do life here based on their ability to transcend, evolve, and ascend to a higher form of awareness. Okay, but not everybody leaves the cycle. The newbies are like the freshmen. They're coming in. They're seeing how the seniors act. They're just trying to find themselves. They're not in that awareness. Don't judge them. Everybody's where they're supposed to be. Okay, so it isn't like you're gonna teach a ninth grader how to do super duper calculus. You know what I mean? They're not on that level. They don't have the information. They don't have the education. They haven't gone through the experiences, so it isn't what they're supposed to do. They can watch you and learn from how you engage, because it'll help them when they come back in the next cycle, so that they're further along their evolutionary process. But it isn't for you to try to break them out of their ignorance, or fast track them into a higher layer of awareness, because everyone has to go through the process. Okay, and the fact of the matter is, seniors that are here, that are now in graduating year, that have already overcome lifetimes, that are the gladiators, they are the gladiators of this realm. They are now being turned on so that they can go inside of the Colosseum and show what they got. Did you learn your magic? Did you learn to stop being gaslit when people call you fat or ugly or stupid or dumb or black or ape? Did you stop being gaslit? Does that still bother you? So you're going to be going into the Colosseum with all those things that you had to overcome being here. The very simple things are those things. There's other things higher you have to overcome. Do you remember the last scene in the Never Ending Story? Remember the Never Ending Story? For some of you who haven't seen it, I know for your young people, I always tell you, watch these movies. You're like, that's so corny. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Look at the last scene when Atreyu has to meet himself. What is the hardest part of the layer of the Never Ending Story? What does he meet at the end, y'all? At the pillars. What does he meet, y'all? And it's so masterful, that movie, because you see the little boy who's reading the book. That is him. That is us in the cryo state, generating ourselves inside of the book. He's a trail. What does he see, y'all? What does he see at the end when he has to? What is the hardest thing he has? Kay said it. Kay said it. Let's see who else says it. It's the hardest thing he has to overcome. Let me see. Kay said it. Let's see if anybody else says it. He has to face himself. Very good, ladies and gentlemen. Very good. He has to face himself. Absolutely. It is the hardest thing in here. That's what I'm saying. Listen, if anything that YouTube and being on social media has taught me, it has taught me to be faced with aspects of myself that were very uncomfortable. I mean, God darn it, when you're online, you're judged in so many ways, whether it's true or not. But you will be hit with the things that you aren't willing or able to see within yourself. And once you're able to accept it and see it and not even overcome it, just acknowledge it, you've basically come through the other end. You've walked through those pillars. Like I tell you all the time, you know, people are like, why doesn't it bother you? You come online, you get criticized. Like, why do you keep coming online? Because that's an aspect that I've dealt with. Sometimes in your journey, you do things that sometimes don't even make sense at the time. Like I came on YouTube at a time. Some of you, big up to anyone who was with me on YouTube for all these years, who's been with me for a while. Some of you have been with me from 2011. Some of you know me from back in the days when I was on the radio. Some of you know me. But if you remember, like I used to come on, and I remember the criticism at the time was, oh my God, she sounds like I said, the criticisms are things that hit you that you haven't resolved. So you remember like when I came in, people, oh, she sounds like a valley girl. Are you trying to act white? Oh my God, why are you doing this video from your house? Like, why are you living there? Like just things that probably were undertones of things of uncomfortability that I've dealt with. And, you know, you deal with that. Like, remember I would go to the UFO conferences or I go to UFO communities and we're like, oh, she looks like an ape. Oh, you're a monkey. Oh, why do you have these black people coming in our spaces about UFOs? Like, that's our space. I was confronted with so many aspects of things. And remember, at the time, I would combat them. I would go, you know, someone would say it and I would just automatically combat it all the time. And then eventually it just kind of rolled off and you laugh about it and you play with it because you realize it had nothing to do with really anything but aspects of myself that were unresolved. Maybe things hitting my face that were uncomfortabilities of things that bothered me from before. So you get hit with them constantly. And then you overcome them and you're like, you play with it a little bit. Yeah, I'm a monkey. I'm an ape. Yeah, I like to, you know, I'm saying, where's all the hair on my body? Where's all the hair? You know, normally apes have a whole lot of hair. What happened to me? What am I like an ape? What happens when you shave an ape? You know, is the hair on the ape, is when you share the hair off the ape, is the ape light or is it dark? You know, I start to play with it a little bit. Oh, remember Starbucks in the car? Y'all know I'd be in my bed. You guys thought I was naked up in here. Okay. So those are aspects of things of being confronted. And later on, after I had babies, had some mishaps, then I got a little chunky. Then, you know, before, well, when I was smaller, then I was a slut. Because remember, if they perceive you to be attractive, and so they call you all their names. So, and remember, these could be bots. So they're confronting you. It's some simulation. So it's anything. You're a slut, you're a harlot, you're coming on here to attract men. That was one point. And then later, you know, as I'm getting a little more seasoned, oh, you're fat, you're disgusting, you're ape. You know, like I said, y'all, everything will confront you, but that in itself is you being confronted with yourself. You being confronted with the things about yourself that maybe you haven't handled, maybe you still have insecurities about. But the great thing about that is that you get to do it in real time and you get to grow and absolve yourself of the emotions or the insecurities that come along with being on social media. So you should never feel uncomfortable coming out as yourself, y'all. You shouldn't feel uncomfortable. If I can come on here and have them hurl a whole lot of names, remember, these people don't know me from Adam. And that's why I learned, I think it was, who was this who said that? That terminology, I forgot who said it, but I don't know who said it. And I remember thinking, that's correct. How people feel about you hasn't anything to do with you. It only has to do with them. If someone perceives you as a certain ways because that's the way they feel about their life, things in your life, their life has presented in a way where they see you a certain way based on their imprint, their social engineering. It hasn't anything to do about do with yourself. It doesn't matter. Because one person can see me as garbage, one person can see me as fat, one person can see me as ugly, one person can see me as stupid, but other people can see me as smart, beautiful, healthy, you know, strong. Do you understand? So how be careful letting people imprint their own insecurities or their narrow view of the world because of their lack of exposure or maybe overexposure, and let them imprint that on you, because all you'll do is present that to the world yourself. You'll take that in and take it on as if it's really you. If you're okay with you, that's all that matters, really, because this is a game. This is a video game. And really in itself, you chose your avatar, you chose your bloodline for a reason. I love my bloodline. I've told you since I came on here that hasn't ever changed about Fleur Brun. I love my bloodline. I came from some beautiful, amazing people. My parents, my grandparents, they were absolutely amazing people. Not perfect, but I love my bloodline. And my bloodline has allowed me to be a cultivator of nature, to be engrossed and speak to the trees, to go out and be part of the elementals. Why would I ever question? So if I look a certain way, it is because I'm the progenitor. I am progenerating that energetic field that I've imprinted myself in here with, because I've chosen specific bloodlines so that I can experience that within this holographic world. And this is who you chose to be, whether you chose to be someone who has beautiful carbon skin and coily hair. Do you not know that you chosen those bloodlines to have that look so that you could harness the energies? Because remember, I told you, the darker the skin, the more cosmic energy you can take in. You have more, you're able to pull in more frequencies, because black matter collects light. So I always say this because people don't like when I say this, but why? Because everybody has a benefit. And to demonize people with darker skin is just a projection of how ignorant and how you are devoid of light. Because anyone knows, if I have a crayon and I put red on my paper, then I put yellow, then I put orange, then I'll put green, then I'll put blue. What color, doesn't it start to get darker until it's black? So that in itself means that it pulls in all the frequencies of light. All those colors are incorporated in that dark skin. So why would that be the most demonized thing? Oh, she's black. Oh, she has coily hair brings in all the frequencies. They have more access to the algorithm. They have access to all of the frequencies that come. When you have a coil in a car, would you have a straight thing? When you want to pull in energy, what do you have to do? You have to coil it, right? Coils bring in energy. So why would that be a negative thing? I want to say that because a lot of times I think that people who are brown skin are treated unwell, but for the very thing that they have access, for the very thing that most people would love to have. For the very thing that allows them to put, now whether they utilize it or not, that's another question. Because if you socially engineer and you put everything on the news to make those people look criminal, to make them look like monsters, to make little brown girls feel like they're not as pretty because only the little light girls get attention, of course they're going to feel a certain way about themselves. And maybe because they take in that feeling that other people, that's why I say to you, how other people feel about you has nothing to do with you. Those little girls take in other people's opinions of them. But if her grandmother told her and her mother told her that how someone feels about you, baby, hasn't anything to do with you, is how you feel about yourself. And that's why that last scene of a trail meeting himself at the pillars, when he faces himself, that is our last final exam. Why I use that as an example is because I noticed that our last exam, our final exam, is everything that we've taken on of others' opinions, of the outer world's opinions, and we've imprinted it and infused it inside of ourselves as if it's part of us. We chose who we are, y'all. Big, black, ugly, whatever it is. There's no such thing as ugly, but you know what I mean? You chose your avatar. Everything about you is perfect. Why would you choose it otherwise? This world is a choice. When you came into this video game, you said, hey, just like Kevin Hart, I want to be a zoologist. I'm going to be short and black, but because I need to be able to get underneath stuff. I need to do who you are, who you chose genetically. Your bloodline matters. You chose that bloodline because that was the perfect ingredient for you to master certain aspects of yourself. Why? That's why they progenerate hating yourself. That's why they tell everybody, oh, you could change yourself. Oh, if you don't like yourself, because that's why they won't ascend. That's why they won't be able to leave through the door, because part of you seeing yourself is seeing your true self and accepting it. When I reach those pillars and I have to look at my image and see Fleur Brun, a little chunky, just looking at the same little girl before, will I accept myself? Or would I take in other people's negative opinions about me? Oh, she's this, she's that. Because if I do, I'll reject myself and I won't be able to exit. Because part of being here is accepting your own choices based on you knowing that those very things you chose in your bloodline. I don't care if your mama was a crackhead. That woman, when she was younger, she probably was a genius. She probably had so many things that may have overwhelmed her. Maybe the Matrix made it a point to put so much pressure on her in her neighborhood to make her feel like that little girl who doesn't feel good about herself. And then eventually, as a way to try to cope with the hurt and the pain and feeling everybody's imprint of her being lesser, she ends up doing drugs to try to mute those emotions. But was she not a god before that? Was she not a god as a little girl? Was she not a little girl that could see things? Maybe that mama who ended up being a crackhead, maybe she was a little girl that could see things, that could see spirits. Maybe she was able to go and pierce through the other realm. Maybe she was able to see beyond the stars. And everything in her life told her that was a lie and told her that wasn't true and told her she was an idiot, told her she was a crazy person. And she took that in. Be grateful. This whole firmament, this whole inside this firmament is teaching everybody, change yourself. Go get, you're fat, Fleur Brun. Go get some, what's that stuff again? Ozempic, and go shoot your stomach in. Let your stomach fall asleep. You'll be dead on the inside, but so long as you look good to everybody else, that's all that matters. They will progenerate, but guess what? I reject that. I reject it. I'm okay with me. And if you see me as that, if you see me as a disgusting person, if you see me as stupid, if you see me as an ape woman, if you see me as a fatty, then that's on you. That hasn't anything to do with me. I love the way I look because my mother and father, who I love, made me and I chose them. And I love everything about them. I love the way they looked. I love the genes that came together to create me. And I'm okay with that. How you feel about me? Okay. Does it feel good to hear that? Probably not. But that hasn't anything to do with me because at the end of the day, when I turn this screen off, when I turn everything off and I lie in my bed, I just have me. And I have to be okay with me because I chose this and everything about me has gotten me to this layer and level of awareness. So why would I let someone else's opinion affect me? Why would I let their opinions make me feel lesser so that I go through the world with a feeling of depreciation? You have to be okay with you. If you chose to be a male and you look the way you do, you chose it for a reason. Your experiences were to come here and experience this world in a masculine and being able to interface with things from a masculine point of view. Why would you choose to change that? That is who you chose to be. So you're saying that the higher self is a liar? Your higher self was making things, was an idiot? The higher self outside this firmament, outside of this construct of social media and social engineering, it was an idiot. Is that what you're saying? So, that being said, right now, at this time, we're about to hit a precipice of higher frequencies, one that probably many of us haven't ever experienced before in this video game. I don't know that everyone has been in this loop double time. Most people make it through the reset and get to the graduation point where they're able to take in the frequencies without, with being able to take it in and being able to open up and occupy the space with a layer of, I don't want to say superiority, of your abilities being on deck. Like the codons, the reason why we get bombarded with so much frequency and so much radiation, the galactic radiation is what we're supposed to be able to take in. The cosmic radiation, the gamma radiation. You know, if you ever watched the Hulk, remember the Hulk? The Hulk was able to take in all that gamma radiation. Remember? He was like David Banner. Did you guys remember that? Y'all, did you remember hold on. Do you remember the Hulk? Oh, that was so good. I love that show when I was a little girl. He was a scientist and he got exposed to that gamma radiation, y'all. Oh, he was Bruce Banner. Oh boy. Melanin. He was like a month and he wasn't that smart. Do you see the duality? So inside of him, he had a scientist, a smart guy, a regular guy, a matrix guy, but inside of him, he had a beast. and he was strong and powerful, and he was able to save people. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's inside of all of us that are real. Okay? And that gamma radiation, they were telling you what you're supposed to be exposed to. That gamma radiation, now listen, I won't say it feels great, because it's bombarding, and they're co-opting the energies too. And all of these Wi-Fi frequencies things, hold on. Oh, hold on. You know, I tell you to try to put your stuff in these dark bags. Like, if I have to put like any sort of chargers or anything, try to keep your stuff off of you, because it's too much radiation that they purposefully want you to be exposed to other forms of radiation that aren't as positive. This is the Go to I Love Guard Dark. And if you don't have it, I have tons of them. Like, I have, like, this is the bigger one. I don't even know what I have in here. Hold on. What do I have in here? Oh, okay. I travel with this. Oh, I keep my other cell phone. I keep my Brazil cell phone. See, and then I keep all this protection on it. You know what I mean? I have like what is this? Oh, this is, you know, I have the diode. I have this on it. This is my Brazil phone. So I keep like stuff in here. Like, if you travel, try not to have all your electronics out. And I don't care if you turn them off. Make sure you, it's Go Dark. You can look online, Go Dark. I'm not a sponsor for them, so, you know, I don't sponsor anything, but I love this company, and I travel with these. So if I go on a plane or anything, because all of your electronics have that battery, that lithium battery. Hold on. They have that lithium battery on it, and they can just combust. And remember, I told you what I told you. That's why, remember, this is reset, y'all. They have to clear everything. They have to clear everything. They have to clear the entire set. It's like being in a play, and the play, this is the finale, okay? So it's very important for you to understand that there's rogue energies going around. Like, even putting the smart meters, you can deny them the smart meters in your houses, y'all. I don't know how many times I've told you that. Like, in my house in Florida, remember I told them to kiss my grits? Kiss my grits. Remember that? Kiss my grits. I told them not to come to my house, and guess what? I went to New York, and what I find? Those motherfuckers came to my house. They came to my house, y'all. It's my house. I pay the mortgage. I'm paying the stuff. How you going to come to my house on my property and come to my house? How did they know I left my house to put the smart meter on? So you know what I did? I called those motherfuckers, and I said, you going to get arrested. I'm going to do whatever I have. I'm going to spend everything to get at you, because, you know, I'm petty like that. And I said, take the goddamn smart meter off my house. I'm not paying for it. Take it off. So know what they had to do? They had to come to my house and take the smart meter off. And I had to pay a little fee per month. Isn't that crazy? I had them take off the technology, and I have to pay a fee. So I had them take the sucker off, and you don't have to have a smart meter in the house. You can tell them that is your right, because the smart meter is a bomb. It's a nuclear bomb. They are going to clear this site. It's a set, y'all. They got to clear the set. What happens when you're done with a play? You got to clear the set. You usually break down the props. All of these so-called Tesla cars, they want you to get, you know why? Because those are bombs. Allegedly. I'm not saying anything. I'm a liar. Don't listen to me. Okay? Those are bombs. Allegedly. Those are all lithium batteries. Did you see that? Listen, they all, okay, solar panels, everything that they're promoting.